Hey everybody, welcome to the Evening Reader. My name is Priscilla, and I thought that I would do a check-in and have a little chat with you all. It's just going to be a chatty video. I'll try to do a little bit of a wrap-up of February. I'll talk about March a little bit, but mostly I just wanted to stop in and have a quick catch-up with everyone because I just haven't haven't had a lot of time to make videos lately. But you know, it's weekend now, and the light, let there be light. It's like feast or famine here. It's like it goes from being dark all the time to being just unbelievably bright. Like I'm starting to have to close the shears in the afternoon because everything is like white and the light is just like, ah. So anyway, yeah, so how are you? How are you out there? Welcome if you're, if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm glad that you're here. Let's see, what's been going on? Well, one thing, my last weekend was actually my year anniversary, I guess, on YouTube. It's been a year since I started my channel. I started it on March 2nd, 2023. Like, what year is it? um, and I want to say a big thank you. I want to say a big thank you to everybody who has visited and commented and liked, who's done a buddy read with me, who has been in events with me, or any of those things, who's just been kind and but you know, especially you who view the videos. I believe you are called viewers. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you so much spending time with me. It is really cool, and it has been it's really far surpassed my expectations. Especially since I have no clue what I'm doing most of the time. You may or may not have noticed that I'm winging it all the time. You know, it seems like so many booktubers are just really so very clear on what they're doing and very precise about what they're doing. And when they sit down to do a wrap up or to talk about books, it's like it's always very thoughtful, and I just always feel like, you know, no matter how much I've like loved a book and I sit down to try to talk to you about it, it's like immediately like it's like I have a lobotomy. It's like half the book just goes out of my brain and I can't remember, you know, half the characters' names, and I I could have just finished it in the morning and I'm still just like, and yeah, and then some things happened and it was really interesting and you should read it. So that's, you know, or just like I'm doing a random tag and I get like really nervous about answering the questions. it's been it's been a test. I mean, it's a test, and I find it really funny because I think so many of us on booktube are um maybe introverts by, you know, in our real lives. Like I'm not shy. I'm not like a shy person. Like if I go somewhere, you know, I will talk, but then it's like it's still kind of draining, and it is still also kind of like it's a weird thing for somebody who's introverted to do, to like put themselves on camera for everyone. It's not like just going to a party or like a or to a book club or something where there's like, oh, there's like 10 people that are new to you. It's like, hi, I think I'll put myself on the internet. I mean, what is that? It's a little, I mean, it's kind of, the impulse is a little strange, but you know, it is also like a connection, right? It's also, I mean, for me, and I think for a lot of people on booktube, it's, you know, you don't have anyone in your like immediate life to talk with about books, or, you know, maybe just to just kind of talk whatever about whatever. I don't know, you know. And it's a chance to kind of get with like-minded people if you can find them, and just chitter chatter. And it's nice, you know, because it's fun to be just a booktube viewer as well. Um, being on the content creator side, if we can call ourselves that, I guess we can. Uh, it's a little weird. It's a little different. It's a little different. I mean, I've enjoyed it. I'm enjoying it, but I have to say, you know, I still feel like maybe things are, I keep expecting things to evolve, but mostly what I keep doing is just trying to keep up. You know, sometimes I'm just so grateful when somebody tags me, because I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, and of course I could do tag videos. I don't have to wait for someone to tag me, but I don't want to just be doing tag videos. Yeah, so you can see this is truly a chitty chatty video. I did do I got tagged by Gina Stan Your Books, to do the annoying book tag, or the annoying booktube tag. The annoying, something about things being annoying tag. And I did do it. I filmed it a couple of weeks ago, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like how it turned out. So, and I didn't have a chance to film it again. And I could have done that now. I could have taken this time that I'm doing this to sit down and do that tag video again. But I don't know. I just kind of wanted to visit and not do a tag. So I still have to redo that tag now that everybody on Booktube has done it. It's completely worn out. I will now do that tag. And that's pretty much like a metaphor for for my life. Anyway, yeah, work's been quite busy, but all said and done, and February was okay. It was kind of a busy month for work, but I had 4 buddy reads in February, and four buddy reads? No, 3 buddy reads. God, what did I read in February? Well, okay, I know we talked about this. We talked about these. I'm not gonna do reviews. I'm gonna point you to other people, or I'll talk a little bit about it, but I'm just not that prepared. I just have to be honest today. I just wanted to drop in and say hi. But I read, the first thing that I read in February was Sonya and I did a buddy read of Plainsong, Kent Harif. This is the first book in the Holt trilogy. And this is set in the town of Holt, Colorado. And Holt is based on Kent Harif's hometown. Couldn't get the word. Hometown of Yuma, Colorado. And it's sort of in like central eastern Colorado. And it's just a really beautiful book. It came out, I think, in '99, and it was a finalist for the National Book Award. And just a beautiful book it's a multi-point of view, close third person, about a cast of characters in Holt, Colorado. A school teacher named Tom Guthrie, his 2 young sons, Bobby and Ike, and also a high school student named Victoria Rubidoux, and then Rubidoux, I don't know how you pronounce it actually, and then probably all that high school French, or college French, all the French, many French lessons, classes. Wow, okay. Lots of French, really paid off. And also the McFerrin brothers, who are 2 bachelor brothers who live on a cattle farm outside of Holt, and they are like in their 50s or 60s, and they form a relationship with Victoria, and it's set like in the 80s, and it's just a very quiet and beautiful book. Sonya did an excellent review. I will link her review in the description box below, because she did it so much justice that it's almost like I didn't need to do anything. Thank you, Sonya. I appreciate it. we're going to be reading the second book in this series called Eventide in April, and I'm really looking forward to that. So, because we're doing all 3 books in the whole series. So that's really fun, and Sonya's really fun to buddy read with. The other buddy read that I did in February that just didn't quite work out, and this is going to be a disappointment for some of you because I know some of you said, oh, this is your favorite book or one of your favorite authors, and it was If on a Winter's Night, a Traveler by Italo Calvino. I read this with Dia at Novel Idea, Sandy at Miss Reads a Lot, and Gemma at Gem of Books. And 2 of us, Gemma and I, both tapped out and said no. And Sandy and Dia went on and read the book, read the whole thing. For me, I got to chapter 6. And it's fine. You know, there wasn't really anything wrong with it except that I just felt like I didn't want to keep going. It just wasn't compelling me to read it. It's very well written. If you don't know this book, it's very sort of postmodern, kind of meta. And it's basically, it sort of alternates chapters. And in one set of chapters, you have the story of this character who is you, the reader. And it's sort of the narrator sort of addresses you like you are the reader, but basically like it's the journey of you trying to read this book, and then it starts off and you have a book and you settle in to read it and you're so excited to be reading, and then there are, I believe it's that there are pages missing in the book. And so you can't go on reading the book, and so then you decide to go to the bookseller, and the bookseller says, oh yes, we are having a problem with that book. And so you end up with another book, but then you also meet this lovely, I guess you, the reader, are supposed to be male, but I guess it can work either way. You meet this lovely young lady, and she also had the same problem with the book, and then you both agree to read this other book, and then you take that book home, and then that book has a problem, and then it just goes on, sort of like with these challenges that you're having with these different books, because it ends up being a different book. You just sort of following this line, and then the chapters in between those chapters are the first chapters of the books or excerpts from the different books that you're reading, and they're different styles of books and different stories, and it's beautifully written, and you know, and translated, I suppose I should say, because this is translated by William Weaver, this version that I have. And I bought this book when I was probably 23, so that means I bought it like 30 years ago. And because I had, I remember I was taking a class, a literary criticism class, and we were talking about postmodernism. And my professor, who I just adored, his name was Thomas Preston, and he mentioned this book. And I'm pretty sure that I got in my car right after class and went down to Recycled Books and Records in Denton and bought this copy, which I think was published. It had to have been in the early 80s because it has this inscription, Peter, Merry Christmas, 1982, love Anna. Well, it looks like Peter only got to like page 56 though, because his Peter didn't get very far, or maybe Peter loaned the book to somebody, and whoever it was, either Peter or this person, does this to books. I don't really approve. Those of you who don't like people who write in books, I used to not. I kind of started underlining and doing things, although I found these clear Post-it notes, and I'm gonna try those out. But I don't do this. I don't do that. Anyway, yeah. So I didn't end up finishing it, but I did. You can see. I mean, I did. I was reading it. I was like truly reading it and paying attention and marking things, but it just kind of, I felt like if I was still in my 20s, I would probably, and I was like with that and like in that kind of mindset of like wanting to analyze and dissect everything and, you know, then be relating it to like Jacques Derrida or something. I don't know. I probably would have been like crazy, you know, wanted to talk about it all the time. And I do remember that like a lot of people when I was in school would talk about this book, like it would come up very frequently, sort of like one of those books that you were supposed to have read. Um, so yeah, I mean, you know, I don't doubt that it is a good book. It just wasn't the book for me right now. So that's fine. Um, the other buddy read that I did in February, it was a lot of buddy reading. I read The Singapore Grip with Roz from Scallydandling about the books and Sarah from Roadworthy. And they have both talked about the book. I will link their reviews of the book down below. I have to say, again, I'm not going to do a formal review of it because, like I said, it's just sort of like in and out. But I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I mean, enjoyed's maybe not the right word. I really liked it. I just thought, I think it, I remember I really loved The Siege of Krishnapur. I thought that it was so well done. And Troubles and I just did not get on at all. I just couldn't get into it. It was such a satire, and it felt so I felt just so disconnected from it all the time. And I just felt the exact opposite about The Singapore Grip. I felt really absorbed. There was only one part right near the beginning of the book where I felt like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know. And that's because, well, the book is set right around World War II, and especially right there in the year before the Japanese move into Singapore and overtake Singapore. And the main character or the main family is there's the Blackett family and the Webb family, and it's Blackett and Webb, and they own a rubber business. And well, it's kind of more of like a conglomerate really, but rubber's the main thing. They also do, I think they do some palm oil, but there's like a thing about, oh, we should have really gotten into palm oil. There's rice and different things, but rubber is their main business. And there's like at the beginning of the book, there's like a very long explanation about the history of the rubber business in Singapore. And I mean, it is sort of like necessary, but it just, you know, it feels like one of those moments in books where something is clearly been carefully researched and is being shared with the reader, and you're just like, you just wanted to share everything that you researched. But it is, I mean, it has its purpose. And so the Blackett family, there's Walter Blackett, his wife, I believe her name is Peggy, his daughter Joan, and his son Monty. And Joan and Monty, I think Monty must probably be around 30 and Joan's in her mid-20s. And then they have another, like, I think was a surprise child who is Kate. And I think Kate is around 12 or 13. And then there is the Webb family, which is Mr. Webb, and then his son Matthew, who has been away, who has been working for the sort of the Geneva Convention, or an organization that is associated with that in Europe. And his father dies, Mr. Webb dies, and Matthew has to come to Singapore to sort of take over the business. And then there is Brendan Archer, who is the main character in Troubles. He now is in Singapore at this time for some reason. We're not really sure why. And then there are other surrounding characters who sort of go through this story that is it's kind of this year of, you know, World War II is erupting everywhere around, and what is going to happen in Singapore and what is going to happen to this business. And it's like the Blackett and Webb, it's like their centennial year. And just, you know, Walter Blackett is he wants to put on a parade. He thinks it's like super, super important to everybody in the community, and that it's gonna bring everyone together. And it's just got he's got like these ridiculous floats that he builds, and it just I don't know. I can't really describe it, but it was so well written. It was so good. And it's definitely got moments of satire, but this book I felt like had more like Siege of Krishnapur, where it was like it moved between satire and then things that were very real. And this book is just it's so visceral. It you can really feel the heat. You can smell the smells. You can, just being there and thinking about colonial life there, and then what that did to other people, and how that worked, and then just, you know I don't know, I can't it just was it's just very well done. So it goes all the way up and to the Japanese invading Singapore, and then through sort of the them or bombing and coming in, and what happens, and sort of how, people start to leave and flee, and who stays behind, trying to sort of remain, retain some kind of control. Um, and it's just shifting way of life. But it's really good. I really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, I don't like I said, not a review. It's not really a review, except to say, if you've ever been curious about it, I recommend it. And I will link to Roz's and Sarah's videos below. The other thing that I read in February was The Rachel Incident by Carolyn O'Donoghue, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I may try to do a review of that one. I really enjoyed that. I just thought that it was just such a fantastic, it's a debut novel, and I'm always a little nervous about debut novels. But this one, I just thought it was excellent. Excellent voice, great character development, um, timely story, an interesting story, a terrific coming of age story. It was funny. It was a nice balance of drama and humor, which I always really appreciate. I really like it when a book has some levity to it. And I know that I think Sarah at Hardcover Hearts said that she had loved it. I think she reviewed it. I will link her review below. And I want to say there's somebody else, and I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was, who I think reviewed it and really loved it, who sort of influenced. It was Sonya. It was Sonya. Sonya also, yes, Sonya recommended it. Sonya had read it, and she also really enjoyed it. Sorry, Sonya. My brain is Swiss cheese. Okay. Let's see. What else? March. So March, I'm doing buddy reads. I have a buddy read that we're kind of just taking it easy, because I'm buddy reading this with Randy Ray, the literate Texan. And I think some of you know Randy's been in and out of the hospital with his cancer. So, but he's been reading. We've been voxering, and he's been letting me know what's going on. And but we're reading Terms of Endearment by Larry McMurtry. And so I'm about a little over 100 pages into this, and this is not my first time reading it. I read it before. I've read it a couple of times before, actually, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly again, being with Aurora and Emma. If you saw the movie and you haven't read the book, I do recommend the book. I think that the book is very well done, and it's a little bit different than the movie, obviously, but also, the movie is wonderful. So there's that. And then I don't have my copy to hand. I am reading The Sleeping Car Porter. And I'll put the picture up, I guess, with Heidi at My Reading Life. So I think we're starting that this weekend. And so I think that's going to be really, really good. I was going to be reading Abide With Me by Elizabeth Strout with Sarah at Roadworthy, but she pinged me, and she's kind of interested in, or she's kind of feeling the pull of the prizes. You know, there's the women's list, there's the International Booker, there's the Giller, there's the Carol Shields Prize, I think, also. So, I mean, there's like a lot. It's like prize season, right? So she's sort of feeling the pull of that, and I am feeling the drag of work. So I'm kind of like, well, yeah, I think we're gonna postpone that for now, which is totally cool. And then let's see. It's March Mystery Madness, and which I really wanted to do. I really wanted to read a mystery. I am waiting for my copy of The Hunter by Tana French. I pre-ordered it. It was published on March 5th. I'm seeing people everywhere on Instagram. Everybody's got their pictures up of The Hunter. I'm so frustrated because Amazon still has not shipped my copy, and I'm really not happy. So I decided to go ahead and start another mystery. So I am reading, I just started it this morning, The Violin Conspiracy by Brendan Slocum, I believe. And I got that, I think, about the recommendation of one of you. I want to say maybe it was Kay Webb Harrison who's told me about it, or Kimberly Newsom who told me about it. I'm not sure. But I'm not sure. If it was not them and it was you, and I am not remembering, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I'm reading that. I just started that, and I'm only a few chapters in, but it looks like it's going to be very interesting. And then, you know, depending on how the month goes, I will read The Hunter or maybe another mystery. I tend to read mysteries a little faster than other things, and then I will continue on with my buddy reads. So I don't think I forgot anything. Doesn't mean I didn't forget anything. Because if I forgot it, then I wouldn't be thinking of it, would I? What else? I feel like there's something else. I wanted to tell you. Anyway, well, I guess that's okay. Because I've been on camera long enough. I've been talking enough. Okay, so I will hopefully be back at some point soon with the annoying book tag, or the annoying Booktube tag, or the tag that's annoying. The tag itself isn't annoying, but it's a tag about being annoyed. I'll be back with that, and then I will, I'll do a check-in. I still don't have it figured out, you guys. 1 year in, and I still don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just winging it. I'm just winging it here, but I really appreciate your being here. I'm really happy that you've spent time with me, and I hope that you will continue to spend time with me in the future. Okay? All right, so I hope that you have a lovely day, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.